but by the revelation of Jesus Christ. In other words, everything that Paul teaches and writes came directly from the ascended Lord in glory. Now, I've had people kindly say, well, now, wait a minute, Les, if you say that we go by what Paul says, I've always thought we had to go by what Jesus said. And that, of course, would be in the Gospels. Well, now, wait a minute. Everything that Paul writes is what Jesus said, but it's what Jesus said after his death, burial, and resurrection and ascension. And that's just like if you make a will. If you made a will 5 years ago and you now made a new one and tomorrow you die, and they bring both wills before the court, which one is valid? Well, the last one, because it's what you spoke last. Now, this is the way we have to look at Paul. Paul's revelations are from the ascended Lord, whereas the Gospels are talking about Christ on his earthly ministry. And as I always remind people, please remember that in his earthly ministry he was living under the law. He was ministering to a people under the law. And so everything that he taught was in that flavor. Now, granted, we can go back and we can study the Gospels and we can get a lot of moral application. It's certainly nice to know all the things that Christ did and his compassion. I have no argument with that. But you won't find the gospel back there because he hadn't died yet. He hadn't shed his blood. He hadn't risen from the dead. All right, now if you'll come on in Galatians, verse 13. For, he says, you have heard of my